Okay, ladies and gentlemen, our presentation is on the power of storytelling in hospitality, creating emotional connections. The power of storytelling in hospitality explores how hotels and hospitality brands can use authentic storytelling to build trust, inspire loyalty, and create memorable guest experiences. This session uncovers how stories told through service, branding, and design evoke emotions, humanize brands, and turn one-time visitors into long-life advocates. For this presentation, we have Dr. Iyadunni Gbadebo. Please, a round of applause for her. She's the Director of Sales, Echo Hotel and Suites. Please clap for her now.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Happy Sunday to you all. I think it's important that when a conference that is so important and so topical in building our nation's next big deal, hospitality and tourism, calls you on a Sunday, you go to church, and you come back, and you get dressed, and you come here, and you show up, and you show big. Mr. Olugbenga Sunday, thank you so much for having me share a little bit of my experience in discussing the power that lies in storytelling. My name is Iyadunni Gbadebo, and I work for a hotel called Echo Hotels and Suites. I've been there for 15 years, and it wasn't always intended to be a 15-year-old journey. It started as a one-year contract. And before I worked for Echo Hotels, I had been in the sales, marketing, and business development space in several other industries. Coming into Echo Hotels was my first attempt at hospitality, and I have found that it is the one place where today, if you have a voice, if you are impactful, if you understand the art of telling a personal story or a brand story effectively, the sky is the beginning of the opportunity for Africa to take its space on the global map. The power of storytelling cannot be overemphasized. 7 years ago, if you dropped a pin on the floor of our hotel, you can hear the sound of it, because at the time, December was a period where people will go on holidays and businesses will shut down and we will struggle for business. Today, 7 years after, we have perfected the art of telling stories at Echo Hotels and Suites. And it's not just about the stories that we tell about our brand or our business, but about the people that make the business what it is. It's the story of me, a young woman in a shark's tank, in a space where women don't really get the opportunity to get to the highest level in the hospitality career, in a place where competition is very, very steep. And as a woman, you have to show yourself and show your worth for you to be valued. Today, I honestly believe that the art that we have perfected in storytelling has taken us from selling rooms and restaurants to selling experiences. And you cannot sell an experience if you don't tell a powerful story. In 2026, Echo Hotel turns 50, and we have a legacy story to tell. It's a beautiful thing that I stand in the hall of another beautiful hotel in Lagos, Lagos Continental, telling the story of my hotel, discussing the art and the power in storytelling. I think that one of the important things that we need to recognize is that even in our industry, we don't do enough of telling our story. When the major brand chain hotels globally, your Marriott's, your Sheraton's, your continental, intercontinental hotels, started coming into Lagos, that was when we woke up to the reality that if we didn't tell our story and told our story in such a way that you don't only connect to the audience that you have locally, but you start appealing to a regional audience and ultimately to a global audience, then as a hotel that is not ready yet to go back to the chain of international leagues, it will be difficult for you if you do not put up a story, a powerful story that can set you apart from the rest. When we launched the product Tropical Christmas Wonderland 7 years ago, it was about telling our African tale of Christmas. It was about inviting the world to come to Nigeria to see how we express our own understanding of communal living and communal sharing. How family brings so much to the table, even as businesses grow. The importance of feeding the family audience has become so critical that today our business survives purely on that. A couple of years ago, if it wasn't a corporate business, we weren't really interested in opening our market to a leisure audience. But down the line, we realized that in telling our story, the story of how we started as Accor, and we became Le Méridien, and we decided to remain a local hotel brand, a Nigerian brand that serves to an international market, but has the soul of Africa in and within it. That became a story that was important for us to share. And today, storytelling has become the most important tool that we have used to position our products and our services. It is not unintentional that when countries spend billions of naira investing in positioning their country as a tourist or hospitality destination, that they don't know what they're doing. They tell the story of the people, they tell the story of the geographical area of their business. They tell the story of the soul that makes them such unique people, their culture, their legacy, their heritage. They tell all of these stories, and people come from far and near to experience this story that has been told. I ask myself all the time, especially when I get an opportunity to talk at a public forum, is that when we talk about the story of hospitality, it is embedded very deeply in the story of even our own culture, the Nigerian people. There's always a Nigerian way to do things. And whether that story is a beautiful story to tell or a not so beautiful story to tell, it all forms part of a holistic narrative that you're trying to pass on to people, and you're trying to get them to connect to that story emotionally so that they can become the ambassadors of the experience that you're trying to sell. 4 years ago, when we moved from telling a Western story of Christmas at our Tropical Christmas event, a little child who had come with her family had inspired the conversation about selling an authentic African tale of Christmas. And for the last 3 years, we have changed the narrative completely. We have emotionalized and we have idolized the experience that you get when you come to Africa at Christmas. And an offshoot of that is when you now hear people talking about Nigeria being dirty December, you now hear people talking about coming to explore Lagos, coming to explore Ojude Oba. You hear people talking about coming to explore Abeokuta and Olumo Rock. Stories are intentional when you tell them with the intention to make it connect to your audience emotionally. All the Nigerians in the diaspora that are from Ijebu have now found that it's important that they come home every festival to celebrate Ojude Oba. And this year brought about the highest number that they've ever had. Now, we haven't really thought about the levels that Ojude Oba can go to. We haven't thought about the levels that Lishabi and Egbale Ganza can go to. We haven't been intentional about curating it to appeal to every single audience that is looking for an African holiday experience. We haven't deeply thought about that, but we have successfully sold a story of a people's culture and a people's way of life, and you have the first people who are coming to experience that is the people whose cultures and stories you're telling. The next level of that would be to get other people to emotionally connect with your story so that they can now carry that story and that experience and sell it to the world. Can you imagine a world where the stories about Nigeria is not all about Yahoo Yahoo and bad politicians and, you know, failed governments and a people who are very docile and not able to get up and take charge of their own narrative? Can you imagine what America, for instance, will do with the boys that we today call Yahoo Yahoo boys? Can you imagine how they will spin that story around and turn it into the brightest minds, you know, magnet kids, and use them and put them to good use and tell that story? It's a global world today, you know, and everything that we say or do not say goes out there. So if you do not take that intentional step of telling a positive narrative, there is no way that your story will ever go to the world as something that people want to experience and something that people want to connect to. So if for every green passport holder, we hold that passport with pride, and we tell a story about a Nigeria that has a professor that has 10 PhDs, for instance. I'm not trying to put anybody on the spot, but I'm sure you were, you know, fortunate to, you know, learn from his sheer brilliance. If that was a story that we took to the world, if you took a story of a group of committed and dedicated industry professionals like HMCA, and you told the story of how HMCA started from what it was 7 years ago and grew to what is pulling the kind of crowd that it's pulling now. If you take the story of the sheer resilience, you know, the effort that it has taken Olubenga to convince each and every one of us to be a part of telling a positive story about what Africa and our continent has to offer. If today, each and every one of us posted something on our LinkedIn page or our Twitter page, praising him and calling him a brilliant Nigerian mind, and many other brilliant Nigerian minds, we intentionally position them for positive emotional connection to the world, then I think that people will fast forget that a few people do Yahoo Yahoo in Nigeria, and a few people are honest, dedicated, and committed to moving Africa forward. And our story, one positive story at a time, will start to change. I think we have to be intentional about telling positive stories about our country. And this takes me to the point where we then now need to narrow down into our industry, the travel, hospitality, and tourism space. Because I think that we're very important stakeholders here. I think that we're one of the engines that fuel the narrative that's been, you know, promoted about Nigeria and Africa to the world. And I think that today is not a coincidence that Olugbenga and his team were able to come up with a conversation that is so topical and so important that it can be an absolute game changer if we become deliberate about it. I don't have any other country but Nigeria. I don't own any other passport but a green passport. And whatever the world says about my green passport is a reflection of what I take to the world about my green passport. I have become intentional about looking gracefully beautiful, authentically African, and thank you. And intentional about honing in and perfecting the art of anything that I believe in. I have taken Project Nigeria and Project People of Nigeria as my new mission in life. I am intentional about telling positive stories, starting with myself. And I'm intentional about ensuring that every story, every action, every inaction tells a story that moves my continent forward. You are just as guilty as I am if you understand that what the world perceives of us is an absolute reflection of what we show to the world. And so storytelling in today's world has become very critical. I'll give you very little inconsequential case studies. Today, all the brains in hospitality and tourism globally meet at different forums to talk about how individually and how collectively we can move our industry forward. I think in the last 10 years, West Africa caught on to this with beautiful platforms like Akwaba, like what Olugbenga Sunday is doing now, what the students in hospitality, TMD are also doing. You know, forums and platforms like that have been very intentional about, you know, ensuring that we're bringing forward captains in our industry, people who are industry professionals and authority, and you're bringing these people forward to talk about their experiences, to shape the narrative for the next 50 years at least. Now, take a look at what's happening in the social space. And I always use this example, this low-hanging example. The people who have the time and effort and energy to constantly post themselves and what they're doing and what their daily life is and how, you know, for every single thing that's happening in their life, they consistently post. These are the people that you see and you call influencers. These are the people that carry a following and a followership. These are the people that have the authority, if you want to call it that, to convince an audience to follow them, follow their doctrine, their training, their views, their perceptions. And in today's world, you find that in most serious spaces, the real ambassadors are not putting themselves forward. And so, the empty vessels that are making the loudest noises are the ones that are spending a lot of time on social media and putting themselves out there, and people misconstrue that to be the kind of, you know, personality, people, you know, experiences that you want to emulate. Take your politics, for instance. If you're not putting your best foot forward, you will be responsible for accepting whatever puts itself forward as the people who should lead you in politics. That's one example. Think about a low-hanging social conversation like Bobrisky. See how famous Bobrisky has become. Whether it is for the right things or the wrong things is not the question here, but just see how the art of his storytelling has gotten him such a following that he now has his authority over a lot of people. He's a mentor for a lot of people. And so you can see from what he's done that storytelling and positioning yourself has now made somebody who should be, well, I don't know where to call it, in the forefront of decision making for young children, for young adults, and even for older people. Brands have started paying him money to promote a product that makes you go from black to white. Do you see the power of storytelling? Now, I just ask you to pause for a second and imagine that you were actually telling beautiful stories, like the reason that we're here, and what being here is doing to Nigeria, and what being here is doing to Africa, and how this is positioning Africa to take its place on a global map. Imagine that we put the kind of effort that Bobrisky put. Our story would go far and wide. It would go far and wide for the right reasons, for positioning us as individuals, positioning us collectively as a community of people who are resilient, who are smart, who, no matter what you throw at them, are the happy. So they say about us. Why isn't that the story that we're telling? There's an art to it. It is in your emotional connection. It is in the energy and the time and the effort that you put into being intentional about curating the right kind of stories, the right kind of connections that would take your brand, your product, or yourself to that destination that you require for it to be. Trust is important and it's key when you're telling stories. Today, when we tell an African tale of Christmas, what we have done is we have shown the Western world that we like the idea of Santa Claus. We've believed it for as long as you have made us believe it. But in Africa, we can tell a story of royalty. We can tell a story of family. We can tell a story of gyration and enjoyment and, you know, the life of the party that we are as Africans. We can tell those stories, and it can be compelling enough for you to see. And it is in the beat of our drum. It's in our Afrobeat. It's in our fashion. It's in our music. It's in our movies. And we're carrying all of these stories to the world. And guess what? The world believes that Nigerians are able to turn somebody into a chicken because of what Nollywood has done with epic movies. In Cotonou, in a small city called Ouida, there is a church, there is a mosque, and there's a traditional shrine. And people come from all over the world to understand and to see how a church, a mosque, and a shrine are cohabiting, and how the people are able to coexist. And a country is intentional about telling that story. And so it hosts something called a voodoo festival. Voodoo festival. You know what voodoo is? So they host a voodoo festival, and all the African Caribbeans and all the black Americans in the diaspora, all your Nigerians and all the black Americans in the diaspora looking for their roots in Africa are connected to this story, and they feel like, oh my God, I need to come and see this voodoo festival. And you know, and because somebody has been intentional about spinning something that is perceived as negative as positive, whether it is for you to just come and experience it, or just see it, or just feel it, you are paying top dollar to come to Cotonou every year to buy cowries. You're flying to come to Cotonou Ouida to see these people that you have idolized because somebody has told an emotionally compelling story to you about these people, and you think that it's magic, and so you want to come and see it, you want to touch them, you want to experience them. and you're paying top dollar. This is the power of storytelling. And I watched the last two festivals, and I was thinking about babalawos, and I was thinking in my head, can't we do a babalawo festival where all the people who think they have the babalawo magic can put it to good use? Let people come and see if they really, really have the magic. And you know what? Whether or not they have it, people would have paid. If it's just about seeing them in the regalia, in the razzmatazz, they would have paid. I think I need an accurate timekeeper to stop me. I'm a salesperson and I tend to talk a lot. But when you get bored, just say shh and I'll get off. Or if I get a timekeeper. But I guess I have maybe two more minutes. Correct, Olubenga? 2 more minutes? Okay. I want to wrap this up saying to you that it is not unintentional that our biggest exports in Nigeria today are our people. Our music is telling a story that is compelling to the world. It is telling the story of our youth, of the resilience of them. It is telling the story of their the talent that is not taught to you, the talent that is gifted to you that you have gifted to the world. It is telling the story even of your history. Fela has died many years ago, but the story and the music and the beat and the movement of Fela lives many years after him. I am compelled to asking you to nudge your conscience that today is a little too late for the story of Nigeria and our people and our culture and our heritage and our way of life is a day too late to be told to the world. I think that if we started today and you and I committed to trying the model that the Americans tried when everybody fought for a vision of one man and held the flag of America with pride. If we told each other that we have no other continent and no other country, and that everybody who has jackpad are people who are doing great and amazing things for the reputation of Nigeria and for Africa. And that if you and I became intentional and committed today to telling that story of that one Nigerian individual, that one Nigerian artist, that one Nigerian politician, if we have any, that one Nigerian professor, that one Nigerian dancer, that one Nigerian out of 100 that is doing great things, if we took a decision today to tell that story positively, I think that you would be testament yourself to the sheer power and brilliance in the art of storytelling. Thank you.
I want to appreciate Doctor for a particular statement you made, man.
I give him all this.
One of the greatest gifts God has given us as a nation is Nigeria. And until we start projecting ourselves positively, nobody will do it. I mean, no one else will do it for us. The story about Nigeria is all about fraud, yahoo, and I can tell you it is not. How many percentage of Nigerians are into yahoo? But because we failed to project ourselves positively, that is why those things are really taking over. My question is, and until we start fighting even the white people for this. I have a short story for 1 minute.
Sir.
Yes.
It has to be 20 seconds.
I'm sorry. I was almost arrested at an airport in Europe. And what happened? I was transiting through Europe to Lagos from the US. When suddenly the immigration officer asked me to come, I said, what happened? He said, because of my passport. I said, what about my passport? Holding the white-green passport, he asked me to step aside. And I tried to challenge the man. He told me that we are noted for crime. That whenever they've been told that whenever they see you with a green passport, they should question you. And I was able to project, within the few seconds conversation I had with him, they took me to one office, they apologized to me, and they told me that they never knew Nigeria had positive, people. Imagine, is it a crime for me to hold a green passport? So not until we start projecting ourselves rightly. Don't just get to an airport and they start pushing you around and you think because, no, we are not inferior, we are superior.
Okay.
May God bless the Federal Bank of Nigeria.
I agree with you, sir. Thank you.
Okay, hi, Iya. So I'm one of the people that struggles with sharing on social media because then there can be, maybe not just social media, but every form of media. Because sometimes what is said cannot be taken back and there can be like a backlash that can come with that, right?
That's right.
So I wanted to ask, what would you say about like the possibilities of oversharing? How far can we go when we talk about sharing? You know, that's what I wanted to ask.
You know, I'm one of those people who honestly think that, well, I think I share the same concerns that you share with social media and how much you're putting out on social media. I would say that, firstly, as long as, whether or not you decide to share, right? Stories are being told, things are happening, people are sharing. You know, if you decide not to share, you know, you're the one not sharing. I was in the same place as you. I've always had a problem with, I would say, certain social spaces. I recently got excited about LinkedIn because I found that there's a community of people on LinkedIn that have a very high level of intellect.
That's right.
And communicating in that space, I have found very reasonable amount of engagements that have made it an important platform for me to be visibly active in.
Yeah.
Now, I wouldn't say the same thing about Instagram, for instance, because I think it's like, I mean, the amount of people there who have no clue, you know, and will make a comment anyway, whether it's good or bad, you know, and make just that. I'm in a place where I'm talking serious conversations, and I want to speak to serious people. So my response to you would be, I think that knowing you personally, you're a brilliant mind, and you will be doing the world a disservice not to share your experience. And if I may say that being scared of sharing is not doing just you a disservice, it's doing people who can gain from you more of a disservice than it's doing your fear to share. So as long as what you're sharing is positive, it's impactful, and it adds value, whether to you, more importantly to other people, I think that you should be bold enough and confident enough to want to share it, however you know, in whatever platform you're comfortable with.
That's right. Thank you very much. And I actually do agree so much with what you've said. And let me just add that we need to control our narrative too, because if we're not talking, if we're not sharing the right things, then people begin to decide how our industry is, you know. And as the gentleman said about Nigeria, it's only we are sacrificing chicken doing Yahoo Yahoo. So if you're not talking positively about Nigeria, they were not controlling the narrative. So do us good, share for our sake. Yes, you don't have to show us your beautiful face. Tell us something nice about us. We're good with it. Thank you so much, Doctor. The third person.
My name is Olawale, and it's a privilege to share this hall with you.
Thank you, sir.
I am an Afrocentric Nigerian, and I believe so much in African culture and tradition. And recently, we've been enjoying so much exposure with Afrobeat. And it is bringing a lot of light on our tradition and culture. And I believe that industries like the Nollywood is already enjoying, this movement. But the hospitality industry is yet, to enjoy the full benefit of this exposure. And another problem with us Africans is that I believe that we see our own tradition, our culture, as dirty. Many of our family members are still elegun, still believe in, or still still practice African belief. And I don't think that people in diaspora, we see these things as beautiful things to engage in when we ourselves see it as dirty. And how can we, convince people in diaspora to see something we see as dirty as beautiful? And if we don't make them engage, there is no way that they are going to come here. And if they don't come here much as we expect them to be.
The question, sir.
The question is, how can we make people in diaspora see our culture and tradition as beautiful when we ourselves see it as dirty?
Thank you.
Right. Well, I share your sentiments on that one. How can we make people in the diaspora see our culture as beautiful? We can make people see our culture as beautiful by telling positive stories about our culture and taking those stories out to the world in ways. In today's world, it's very, very easy to do it. It's a digital space now, and everyone is sharing, information with the speed of light. So, when you were talking, I was thinking about, very recently, I was reading about I think it's the Osun, somewhere in Osun State, that has the highest rate of twin pregnancies in the world. Do you guys know about that?
I think the most famous twins in Nigeria are here. So is it Osun State?
Ikora. Where is that? Isn't it?
Which
Oyo State? In Oyo State, sorry.
Okay.
Oyo State, right. So I was thinking about this just in light of what you just asked me. A story like that, what is that story doing untold? Why isn't there a full-on NTA program that is being televised and intentionally being paid for, CNN to cover, BBC to cover, Al Jazeera to cover? Why is the Ministry, for instance, of Information, Culture, why haven't they honed in on that story and taken that story intentionally to the world? Do you know how many people will, just from hearing that story, the amount of women that are struggling with fertility, the amount of women that globally are looking to have one child, talk less of two. Do you know how much tourism that story, if it is told, and told in an intentional way to draw an audience for it, do you know what that can do for your brand and your reputation? Well, you're the answer to the question that you've asked me. You have to start to tell the story of Nigeria. I've started, and I'm telling the story every day. You start telling the story of everything about Nigeria, about Nigerians, about our culture, about our people, about our way of life. Even the ones that are not so good are comical to people. Do you see the amount of young Nigerian boys that are getting married to old American women for passports?
Yeah.
Now, if Nollywood decides to write a movie about that story with the intention of telling the story as if it is not just the boys that have the problem. If the women didn't have a need, because we are feeling a need.
That's right.
If you think about every single thing from a place of how can I sell it positively to the world, then the story will not be that young Nigerian boys are following old men, old women. Old women have needs. And somebody's feeding that need. Why isn't the feeding of that need what we're talking about? Why are we abusing the young boys as if, yeah, that's the power of storytelling, sir.
Thank you very much. Thank you so much, Doctor. You know, in Nigeria, we feel needs a lot. We have solutions to a lot of problems. Okay, we'll take Dr. Wasiu, Professor Wasiu, and then the lady from Kenya, and then we're done with this.
Thank you, Iyadunni. Please, I want the audience to please follow me. I want to tell you a story.
Story, yo.
I want to tell you a story.
Story, yo.
I want to say thank you for letting us understand hospitality is not only about service, it's not only about the technicalities. Sometimes it's something outside, something inborn. And thank you for letting we managers know storytelling is a skill, and that's what she has just told us. Something that we can take back to our communities, back to our businesses, and that may be the solution to turning the red line in your books to wonderful black lines. I just want to say thank you for opening our eyes to that.
Thank you.
Actually, mine is not a question, but just to say a big thank you. As you were talking, I was able to curate a 7-day guest experience using the 47 counties in Kenya. And I was able to see how I can bring the element of food and sell an experience that is unique by telling stories about every tribe. I'm so captivated by what you've shared. And I'm not leaving this room back to my country the same. I'm going to tell the stories because we have a very rich heritage, we have a very rich culture. We can turn that into unique guest experiences. You also reminded one thing that I tell my staff, that every woman and every man that walks through the doors of your hotel has a good bed, can cook, but people are walking into hotels looking for memories. You just taught me how to do that better.
Oh my
Thank
goodness.
you. One of the thoughts that I've had in recent times is that Africa, as a network, isn't doing enough to sell Africa to the world. And I'm super glad that something has inspired you this afternoon to think about us that way. Kenya is a beautiful country, and you have, last year Christmas, I brought a few Kenyan dancers to Echo Hotel when we did our tropical Christmas. It was so beautiful because it was intended for us as Nigerians to experience other parts of Africa, because we don't do it enough. When we travel and we go on holidays, we take our kids to London, to America, to Dubai, and now everybody's refusing to give us visas. So it's a beautiful thing. They don't understand the beauty of the refusals, but we would make lemons out of this.
That's right.
We will connect Africa with every single dot. And by the time we're done, we will be giving them problems to try to get visas to come and experience
You can
the
say
richest
that
culture
again. You can
in
say
the
that
world.
again.
Thank you. Thank you.
Africa for Africans. Thank you so much. Yes, okay. Mr. Finger is here.
Thank you. Please have your seat, I told someone that Dr. Iyadunni will be here. He said, no, forget it. Iyadunni is too busy. He can't come. I said, wait for it. So somebody sitting on 800 rooms, over 800 rooms, perishable products.
Yes.
Did you get that?
Yes.
The lifespan of your product is 24 hours. Once you don't sell it, it's forever. And I told the person, I said, if God is by our side, Dr. Iyadunni Gbadebo will be on this stage. It was a big task. You know, it was a big task. But eventually we got, she had to squeeze us into the schedule. I don't know how she's doing it. A woman, married woman, with over 800 rooms to be sold within 24 hours. Put your hands together for this. I call her a magician. And I've heard sometimes Mr. Excel will call for room. They will say, no room. I say, how? How can you say no room? I like, over 800 rooms. Madam, confirm number of rooms. Please confirm it first.
825. 825.
825 rooms. And she has to sell them. Should we call her a magician? Thank you so much for what you are doing for the industry. I check your profile. You've been consistent. Like, you stay in a place for 15 years, and you are here 2 years. You've already submitted another application. 2 years. We'll talk about it. Why not wait a little? Give these owners benefit of doubt. How do you get a job now, and you still see adverts immediately just because of 50,000 naira difference? You want to move. Are you a mover? Where are you moving to every time? If you are here, your CV is within 5 years, you've been general manager of 7 hotels. You need counseling. During mentoring session, please go and tell them your problem. Say, I dey move. Today, you are in Asaba. Tomorrow, you dey Ugeli. Next tomorrow, in fact, you are in Babuja. I have them here. I wish I can mention their names. Stay one place.
Please don't.
Don't move around. When you stay more, the more you stay, the more relevance. She's a director in Eco Hotels and Suites. Onagweble, the most popular hotels in Nigeria. Onagweble, the biggest. If your hotel is here, you have 800 rooms. Stand up. Because I don't want to be misquoted. I want to say thank you for honoring this invitation. People told us you were not going to come. Yes, I have people that told me, Iyadunni will not come. She's too busy. And I told them, God will bring Iyadunni. And this place, you will come to see what we've been talking about. I want to say thank you. I will do this first, then another one. Hold on. Okay. So, my mic is here. Don't worry. Yesterday, you did not give me the mic. So I didn't know that it's even working. So I'm doing double mic. Because I want to do double things. We are grateful. This is for you, ma. Thank you, ma. Please bring 2 more, please. I want to send one to your GM, Danny. Yes. She is, all of you there in that hotel, you are too busy. God will help you. This is for Danny. Thank you. Okay, so one more thing. Please keep it for her. All right. No, keep this one for me. I'm coming, yes. Please sit down, ma. Please, we consider you as an Amazon because it's what you are doing. I don't know how you are doing it. And we want to recognize you as one of the winners of our Hospitality Impact Award. Check the number 2 there. Number 2. We are grateful. This edition is our special edition that we want to recognize the trailblazers. I don't know how proud we are to have you sitting selling 800 over 800 rooms daily. You have no idea how proud we are. Let me have the award. And I want to call on Professor Wasil Babalola, and I want to call on Barrister Chike to present this award, the two of them. She's doing something I don't understand. Personally.
We will set a master class
I just
for her.
pray we can research. I wish we can talk about it. How are you doing it? I think we need to bring her to one of our master classes.
I've said it now, and she has agreed. All in favor, say aye.
Women, what is your excuse? Tell me. We need more Iyadunni.
We are up and coming, sir.
We need more. We love you.
May we please be over here? Thank you, yes.
This is our first time. It's a special edition. And the first recipient of this kind of award on this platform is Dr. Iyadunni Gbadebo. Let's have this. Okay, good.
Thank you so much. I was on stage with her about a week ago, and I said we'll meet today because she has promised me a check. Because it's not easy to meet somebody like this twice in less than 2 weeks. So it's a wonderful thing she's winning the first one, and it'd be an honor to give it to the MD, the barrister, for two reasons. Barrister is my learned senior, so it will be nice for me so that I can enter the bar and drink as well, that I'll be doing this. And secondly, because the brand the MD represents are also changing the landscape. So let a landscaper present to the landscapee.
Thank you, sir.
So, on behalf of this wonderful platform, Mr. Olubenga Sunday and his wonderful team, I hereby present this, what will I call it, the Icon?
Hospitality Impact Award.
Okay. I hereby present this Hospitality Impact Award to you, Dr. Mrs. Iyadunni Gbadebo.
Thank you.
And Princess, she's also a princess.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. Okay.
If I'm going to tell this story, isn't it important for me to tell a sexy story?
Yes, please.
So help me cheese to this one. That's how you tell compelling stories.
Thank you.
Do you know what? I'm truly blessed and honored. First of all, Olubenga, I didn't realize I was going to get any award here today. So honestly, from the bottom of my heart, thank you. Sometimes when you commit yourself and your life to doing something where you're not looking to get anything in return for it, I think there's a level of passion that comes with when there's no real reward other than a national good. I'm super pleased that at least somebody notices that I'm trying. I know that there's a whole lot more that I can do, and I am so vested and so committed to moving Nigeria forward. It is unbelievable. And there is nothing that I believe in that I would not push with all the passion that it needs to get to its destination. I am committed to this, and I will not now, not tomorrow, make you disappointed in my representation of us.
Thank you.
I have two of my own alpha learned colleagues. I am more blessed to have been presented this award by two fine gentlemen that I have a lot of respect and regard for. Thank you so much. And for you, the audience, I'm honored. Thank you. God bless you. I think we have a lot of work to do, and we'll start right now.
Yes.
Thank you.
Yes.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.